of organs and regional economic communities. Distinguished colleagues, all protocols observed, may I now invite Excellency Chairperson of the PRC to call this meeting to order. I thank you.
Muito obrigado, senhora secretária. Penso que estamos em condições de podermos iniciar a nossa reunião, que começa exatamente com a minha intervenção. Portanto, que comece exatamente com a intervenção do presidente da Comissão da União Africana, que está representado aqui pela Sua Excelência Vice-Présidente da Commission. Donc, je passe la parole à Son Excellence, Madame la Vice-Présidente de la Commission, pour son intervention.
Excellency Chairperson of the PRC, Ambassador Professor Miguel Cesar Domingo Bembe, Permanent Representative of the Republic of Angola, Excellencies, Ambassadors, members of the Permanent Representatives Committee and their representatives, distinguished heads of organs, distinguished representatives of REX, esteemed colleagues of the African Union Commission, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is with a great honor and deep sense of responsibility that I address the 50th Ordinary Session of the Permanent Representatives Committee today and deliver this statement on behalf of His Excellency Mahmoud Ali Yusuf, Chairperson of the African Union Commission. His Excellency the Chairperson is regrettably unable to be with us this morning due to urgent commitments requiring his immediate attention. He conveys his warmest regards to all present and express his full confidence in the successful deliberations of this important session. He reaffirms his unwavering support for the work of the PRC and extends his sincere appreciation for your continued dedication to the mission and ideals of our Union. Of course, you can consider that this commitment is mine also. It has now been just under 3 months since the new leadership of the Commission took office and assumed the responsibilities entrusted to us by you, the Member States. These first months have been marked by intense engagement and reflection with you, Member States, aimed at consolidating trust and reinforcing collaboration and communication between the Commission and yourselves. This engagement has focused on several strategic priorities, including peace and security, accountability and transparency, sustainable financing of the Union, implementation of policy organs' decisions, strengthening relations with our regional economic communities and regional mechanisms, and addressing the challenges related to human resources and advancing the finalization of the SACA process. At the same time, and based on an initial period of observation, we have worked with departments within the Commission and AU organs to enhance synergies and alignment to ensure the effective delivery of our mandates. We have engaged with commissioners and directors to rationalize travels and missions and to optimize the efficient use of our limited resources, focusing on the implementation of strategic priorities aligned with the second 10-year implementation plan of Agenda 2063. Our engagement has also extended to all our partners to strengthen partnerships and multilateralism and to mobilize resources for peace and security on the continent. Most recently, the Commission actively participated to the AU-EU ministerial meeting and continues to prepare to support for the successful conduct of the ministerial meeting of coordinators on the implementation of the follow-up actions of the FOCAC, starting tomorrow, as well as the TICAD and the AU-EU summits due to take place in the second half of the year. The Commission also continues to strengthen its relations with the United Nations and, amongst others, will actively engage in and support our member states at the upcoming 4th Forum on Financing for Development. As a member of the G20, the Commission is committed to enhancing its internal capacity and coordination to ensure that the African Union fully assumes its role within the group. Excellencies, the initial period of the tenure of the new Commission has also been marked by an effort to identify areas that have caused concerns both to member states and internally. These are critical areas that will require actions for change that will necessitate our joint and collaborative efforts and enhance dialogue and communication. The proposed PRC AUC retreat later this year will, I believe, provide an excellent opportunity in this regard. Excellencies, distinguished member states of the PRC, the agenda before us requires our collective wisdom and commitment as we consider the strategic and operational matters raised by various PRC subcommittees. I would like to take this opportunity to express our deep appreciation on behalf of His Excellency Mahmoud Ali Yusuf, the chairperson of the Commission, and myself to the various chairpersons of the subcommittees for their leadership, dedication, and professionalism in guiding the work of their respective organs and in formulating concrete proposals and recommendations to address the Union's strategic and operational matters to be placed before the Executive Council next July. We all agree that better coordination between PRC and its subcommittees is very critical for the proper planning of meetings, avoiding parallel sessions, timely circulation of working documents, and strong collaboration in implementing policy organs' decisions. In this regard, I would like to sincerely appreciate His Excellency Ambassador Miguel Bembe, the chairperson of the PRC, for his leadership in presenting the draft document on the revitalization of the working methods of the policy organs of the African Union. It is my great hope that the deliberations on the chair of the Union submission will guide us to come up with concrete proposals that ensure efficient organization of our meetings, timely submissions of documents, effective utilization of our limited resources, and orderly and smoothly functioning of policy organs in line with their respective rules of procedures, in other words, to rationalize our work and improve our efficiency. Excellencies, distinguished members of the PRC, our continent stands at a critical crossroads. The promise of its vast natural resources and young population has yet to be fully realized. We face global economic volatility, debt challenges, and the lingering effect of the COVID-19 pandemic, all of which require bold and coordinated responses. We must accelerate efforts to deepen the AFCFTA, stimulate industrialization, and drive innovation-led growth. Therefore, strengthening relations between the Commission and our RECs and the regional mechanisms is a key priority of our leadership. In this respect, I would also like to share with you that the chairperson of the Commission has had the honor of convening a coordination committee meeting of the African Union Commission with the executives and secretary generals of the RECs and regional mechanisms on the 14th of May 2025. This high-level consultative meeting served as a critical platform to ensure strategic alignment and synergy in preparation for the upcoming 7th Mid-Year Coordination Meeting. The discussions were focused and constructive, centering on the refinement of the implementation of Agenda 2063, clarification of roles, and harmonization of priorities among the AU and the REX MRs. The goal was to strengthen coordination, avoid duplication, and reinforce our shared commitment to the principles of subsidiarity, complementarity, and comparative advantage principles which underpin the institutional architecture of the African Union, as well as the spirit of the reform. Through this engagement, the Commission reaffirmed our collective resolve to present a coherent and unified continental agenda that advances the objectives of Agenda 2063 with particular attention to the 2025 theme on justice and reparations for Africans and people of African descent. I am confident that the outcomes of the Coordination Committee meeting, as well as your deliberations as PRC, will significantly contribute to a well-structured and impactful mid-year coordination meeting, serving as a decisive moment to advance Africa's integration, development, and unity. Excellencies, in light of the forthcoming Executive Council being dedicated to the adoption of our budget for 2026, I would like to recall that in June 2015, our heads of states and government adopted a historical decision on financing the Union. Rooted in the core Pan-African values of self-reliance, the Assembly set ambitious targets for member states to cover 100% of operational budget, 75% of program budget, and 25% of peace support operations to establish a reliable and predictable financing mechanism for our Union. Further, a year later, in 2016, our leaders adopted the important decision on the institution of a 0.2% levy on all eligible imported goods into the continent to finance the African Union's operational program and peace support operation budgets. 10 years later, though progress has been made towards covering the 100% of operational budget from member states' assessed contributions, we are lagging in achieving the Johannesburg targets of 75% of the program budget and 25% of peace support operations. To date, only 17 member states have implemented the Kigali decision on the levy. As your excellencies will recall, over the past 5 years, the African Union's approved budget has experienced a negative growth rate of 6%, despite the establishment of new organs and the expansion of its mandates. Although member states' contributions have been capped at 250 million since 2019, actual asset contributions have consistently fallen short of this ceiling. This decline has significantly constrained the AUC's capacity to effectively implement the decisions of the policy organs. Similarly, the limited budget has restricted the recruitment of essential staff in accordance with the approved structure of the Commission and constrains our abilities to implement strategic priorities, of course taking into account the SACA process. Moreover, it has delayed critical renovation and maintenance activities for AU properties and assets, some of which date back to the 90s. This has compromised structural functionality, posed institutional and operational risks, and led to increased budgetary costs. The limited budget has also significantly hindered the effective implementation of security and safety standards. Statutory meetings of AU organs have been adversely affected by the austerity measures, which directly impact the implementation of their mandates. The ongoing SACA process has further strained the delivery capacity and negatively affected the staff morale, which remains our most critical resource. This situation has resulted in heavy reliance on partners' funds for implementation of our programs and staff recruitments, thereby in fact impacting our financial independence. As the new leadership of the African Union Commission, this is the reality we are faced with. It is also a reality that we are committed to improving through joint efforts with member states. Therefore, I would like to seek the guidance of member states on the immediate way forward and suggest the initiation of a reflection on this critical issue of the financial sustainability of our union and its impact on our operations. As an immediate measure, I would like to suggest that each draft decision be accompanied by its financial implications in order to inform the commitments taken by member states by their adoption. Excellencies, distinguished members of the PRC, reparations for historical injustices remain a critical and long overdue issue for the African continent and its diaspora. By adopting the theme of the year, the African Union acknowledged the urgent need to confront these legacies and advocate for meaningful redress. Justice for Africans and people of African descent is not only about compensation. It is also about recognition and the restoration of dignity. Despite some challenges, since taking office, the chairperson and myself have made efforts to advocate this agenda by amplifying African voices in global discourse through our several engagements, notably through the Africa Dialogue Series hosted by the United Nations Special Office for Africa and the most recent AU-EU Summit. These efforts are aligned with broader goals under Agenda 2063, which envisions an Africa where justice and human rights are upheld and historical wrongs are addressed through inclusive, transparent, and sustained actions. The African Union's successes depend fundamentally on our unity and collective will. Justice and reparations demand that we act decisively to address historical inequities and build an Africa that is economically sovereign, socially just, and politically united. As you undertake this important work and consider the decisions to be made or proposed to the Executive Council, please be assured that you can continue to rely on the full support of the Commission and our wholehearted commitment to our collective mission. And before ending my intervention, I would like to wish Eid Mubarak to all those who have celebrated it a few days ago. I thank you.
Portanto, neste momento vou fazer a minha intervenção de abertura desta importante reunião. Para já gostaria de começar por saudar a presença da vice-presidente da Comissão, que representa o presidente da Comissão da União Africana. Estendo as saudações a vossas excelências, embaixadores e representantes permanentes dos Estados-membros aqui em Addis Abeba. Gostaria também de saudar os presidentes, portanto, os comissários. Temos os nossos comissários aqui na sala, saúde de forma fraterna, assim como os membros de vários órgãos da nossa Comissão da União Africana, sem esquecer os representantes das comunidades econômicas regionais e, naturalmente, o professor Mukoko, que, portanto, que está conosco aqui presente, que representa a unidade de reforma institucional da nossa organização continental. Com isto, nós gostaríamos de sublinhar a honra e a fraternidade africana que nos anima neste momento para dar as calorosas boas-vindas a todos vós a abertura desta importante reunião, ou seja, a 50ª sessão ordinária do nosso Comitê dos Representantes Permanentes. Esta sessão, Excelências, é de grande importância, tendo em conta que portanto, é a primeira que acontece sob a presidência da República de Angola, uma responsabilidade que assumimos com humildade, determinação e firme compromisso com os princípios e valores da nossa organização continental. Esta sessão marca um momento crucial nos trabalhos deste comitê. Vamos considerar e adotarmos as agendas da 50ª sessão ordinária do Comitê dos Representantes Permanentes e também da 47ª sessão ordinária do Conselho Executivo da União Africana. E assim lançaremos as bases essenciais e estruturais para um diálogo diplomático que orientará a análise de relatórios determinantes dos subcomitês técnicos, os parceiros do Comitê Ministerial e Finanças, bem como a apreciação de temas centrais que impactam naturalmente a nível da paz e segurança, integração econômica e também do desenvolvimento humano em África. O Comitê dos Representantes Permanentes, Excelência, representa um dos pilares fundamentais da União Africana. Na essência, é o guardião da consistência política e técnica entre a tomada de decisões a mais alto nível e a realidade cotidiana na implementação dos projetos continentais a nível dos nossos Estados-membros. Cabe-nos, assim, assegurar que os processos sejam cada vez mais transparentes, que os métodos sejam eficazes e que os resultados reflitam o espírito da Agenda 2063, denominada África que Queremos. A nossa atuação coletiva, Excelências, deve ser guiada por um pragmatismo visionário, aquele que olha para as urgências, portanto, do presente, com a coragem de projetar soluções para o futuro. Esta sessão, estimados irmãos, que iniciamos hoje, apresenta uma oportunidade de consolidar consensos, de reavaliar estratégias e também, portanto, de projetarmos cada vez mais o nosso trabalho que é contínuo a nível da reforma institucional da União Africana. A força desta reunião está na diversidade dos nossos contributos e na convergência das nossas aspirações, com base, portanto, no princípio de racionalização para promover a produtividade, a eficácia e a eficiência no funcionamento da nossa organização continental. Juntos podemos transformar resoluções para ações concretas que possam acontecer no terreno, nos nossos países. Já se vislumbram frutos promissores nas trocas que antecipam os trabalhos substantivos desta sessão. Estou convencido de que os resultados desta reunião reforçarão a relevância do nosso comitê e projetarão um impacto positivo nos próximos fóruns deliberativos. Excelências, com esta confiança renovada na nossa capacidade de construir juntos uma África mais integrada, próspera e influente no cenário global, declaro aberta a 50ª sessão ordinária do Comitê dos Representantes Permanentes da nossa organização continental. Que os nossos trabalhos sejam frutíferos, coerentes e orientados para a ação. Muito obrigado.
Excellency Chairperson, Excellency Deputy Chairperson, Excellencies present. Now we kindly and humbly draw your attention to group photo time. Thereafter, tea break. The group photo will take place at the usual entrance of Mandela Hall. May we kindly have 15 minutes in total for everything so that we can come back and finish our today's meeting in good time. Thank you.